The dark basement is lit only by a dim lamp swinging from the ceiling, casting flickering shadows on the dust-covered walls. The ventriloquist, with a focused expression, slides a sharp blade over the wood, precisely carving the pale face of the puppet. On the cluttered workbench, glass eyes gleam under the flickering light, reflecting the image of the tired, sweaty creator. He holds the finished puppet, admiring his work. There are no strings, only well-crafted joints. A silent pride settles in. The basement falls into absolute silence until a dry sound echoes, a faint creak. The ventriloquist frowns and looks around. His gaze falls on the puppet. He swears something about it has changed, but he can't tell what. His heart beats faster. The lamp flickers rapidly. Shadows distort on the walls, stretching unnaturally. He blinks. When his eyes open again, the puppet's glass eyes are now staring directly at him. The air feels heavier, as if something invisible is watching from the darkness. A chill runs up his spine. The lamp flickers once more. Now the puppet is in a different position. He didn't move it. The ventriloquist steps back, his breathing growing heavier. He is alone in the basement. At least, he thought. He was. The puppet falls from its chair with a dull thud, but its eyes remain fixed on him, as if they have a life of their own. He swallows hard and slowly steps closer, his hand trembling as he picks the puppet back up. The wood feels colder than before. A whisper echoes through the basement, a low, distorted sound that seems to come from all directions at once. The lamp flickers violently, and in the brief darkness he hears something dragging across the floor. He is afraid to look. When the light returns, the puppet is no longer in his hand. It is across the basement, sitting on a chair. A shiver runs down his spine as he realizes that the puppet now has a sinister smile carved onto its face. He rushes to the door, but the lock is jammed. The sound of children's laughter fills the basement, even though he knows there are no children there. The puppet stands on its own, its wooden limbs bending grotesquely as it takes a step toward him. He screams, but his voice is lost in the echo of the basement. The puppet moves closer. The puppet closes in, and the ventriloquist finds himself cornered against the wall. The puppet's sinister smile widens, and he realizes there is no escape. The lamp begins to flicker wildly, creating an atmosphere of desperation. He tries to think rationally, but the only thing he can focus on is the puppet. In a moment of desperation, he tries to break the puppet, but his hands can't touch it. Something stops him. Like an invisible force, the distorted whisper returns, louder and more threatening. He realizes that the puppet is not just an object. It is a vessel for something much more sinister. The puppet raises its hand, and a bright light emanates from its body, blinding everything around. He tries to look away, but he cannot. When the light fades, the ventriloquist is no longer in the basement. He finds himself in an empty space surrounded by other puppets, all with sinister smiles. The children's laughter echoes once more, now louder and closer. He realizes he has become part of his own creation.